guys. I'm going to kind of walk you through this process just a little bit to kind of give you, so that you kind of know what it's supposed to look like, what the process is supposed to look like. First of all, I melted about a fourth of a stick of butter in this this glass measuring cup, and then I added graham cracker crumbs. They're the Honey Made graham cracker crumbs to almost a cup, till it comes up almost to a cup. And then, and I kind of ripped this up, we use Lotus cookies. They're called Biscoff Lotus cookies. And you might be able to, I imagine Fairway maybe has them, but they're just kind of a sweet cookie. And I've crushed about 4 or 5 of those. You can actually use any cookie crust that you want, as long as you grind it up and mix it with melted butter, and that's going to form the crust. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that up and then put it in the pan, and I'll show you that in just a minute. Okay, so I've mixed those cookies and the graham cracker crumbs together, and you can see I've got about 1.5 cups of that stuff. All right, the next thing we're going to do is put that in our springform pan. It's called a springform pan because you can, when you undo this clasp, then this springs apart, and then your cake comes out just on the bottom part. I've lined it with parchment because I intend to take it out, and so this will get it off of my pan and onto a plate without destroying the crust. So the next thing you're going to want to do is put that crust mixture. And again, you can use any cookie if you want an Oreo crust. You could use an Oreo crust. Just use enough melted butter so that it will adhere together, and it will cook and form a nice crust for you. Okay, I pretty well have that all out, and then you're just going to want to press that into your pan and press it up the sides until you have a nice smooth crust. You can see I have smoothed that out, and some of it has gone up kind of on the side a little bit, and that's okay. You know, when you get ready to pour your cheesecake batter in, you'll want to be careful so that it stays intact. Some of it will come up the side while it bakes, and that's okay. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do, we're just going to set that aside for now. And we're going to unwrap all of the bricks of Philadelphia cream cheese. I have 4 bricks, and you just want to unwrap those. I leave mine out overnight so that it's nice and soft. That will incorporate into the butter a lot better. So you want to do 4 of those. And unwrap those and put those in your bowl. Okay, the next thing we're going to do after we have all 4 bricks of cream cheese, the original Philadelphia cream cheese, in our mixing bowl is we're going to add a cup and 1/4 of sugar to that. Then we're also going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. I like to use Watkins vanilla, baking vanilla, because that's the best vanilla there ever was. It's what my mom always used, and it's what I use as well. And the lid is just about a teaspoon, and that's always what I add, is a teaspoon. Okay. Now, the first thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to cream that. I'm going to cream the sugar and the cream cheese together. And I've just got a regular mixer, and we're gonna get that until that's all nice and creamed together. So after I have creamed the cream cheese and the sugar together, then I'm going to add 4 eggs, but I'm just going to add them one at a time and make sure it's incorporated really well. Each one is incorporated really well in the batter before I add another one. And you don't want to beat this on high because you don't want too much air beat into your cheesecake. Okay, I'm going to just stop the mixer. And if you have a stand mixer, which I do, but I just didn't get it out in this case, it's nice. It's nice that you can just keep it going on low and just add 1 egg at a time, and you don't have to stop and start it. So now I'm going to add the other 3 eggs, 1 egg at a time. Okay, and here I am. I'm just incorporating that last egg. Just keeping it on nice and low. And getting that egg in. The reason you incorporate them 1 egg at a time is so that you make sure that they are fully incorporated, and you don't have any egg mixture that is not fully beat into the batter. And guess what? That's all there is to this part of the cheesecake. We're going to put it in the pan, and then we're going to bake it. Okay, now how cool is that? We've got the batter all made up. It's all nice and smooth, and that's one of the reasons you want your cream cheese at room temperature, is so that it beats up nice and smooth. And then all you have to do is add it to your crust. And I'm just going to take this out for a minute. And pour that right in. And then once we get it in, we'll smooth it out. So after I put it in the pan, I like to jiggle it just a little bit to settle it and make sure there aren't any air bubbles or any big air bubbles, and just kind of let it smooth out. That's what it looks like in the pan. And we're going to stick it in a 350-degree oven. I'm going to put it on for 40 minutes. I'm going to check it after 40 minutes. It's probably going to take closer to 50 minutes, but I always like to check it so that I don't overcook it. I have already put a pan in the bottom with just a cookie sheet with water in it. When that water heats up, it's going to provide steam. Not only will it help it bake, but it will also keep the top from cracking. Okay, so let me stick this in the oven. Here we go. And now it's going to go in for 40 minutes to begin with, and then we'll check it after 40 and see what it looks like. One of the final steps to the cheesecake is to take a 16-ounce container of sour cream, and I've put that in my 2-cup measure. To that, I add a teaspoon of vanilla, again, our good Watkins vanilla, and approximately 1/4 cup of sugar. Now, if you like it more sweet or less sweet, you can vary the amount of sugar that you use to your taste. I like it a little sweeter, so I err on the side of a little more than 1/4 cup of sugar. I maybe have 1/3 cup of sugar in here. And we're going to mix that all up until it's nice and smooth. And then we're going to wait for the cheesecake to come out. That's going to be our topping. We'll add that to the top of our cheesecake and finish baking it off. So we'll wait for that cheesecake to come out. Okay, it's been 40 minutes. Let's check it. And I think I'm going to just put it in for about 5 minutes longer. It's looking really nice. It's going to be a little jiggly in the middle, but that's okay. But we're going to let it go just about 5 minutes longer, and then we'll pull it out. Here we are. This is after 45 minutes. You can see it's a little jiggly in the middle, and that's okay. In the meantime, I've turned my oven up to 500 degrees because we're going to put the topping on this and cook it for about 5 minutes longer at 500 degrees so that that topping gets nice and cooked. So I'm just going to put the topping on, and then we'll stick it back in the oven. Okay, so now I've put that sweet and sour cream topping on. And I'm just going to kind of smooth it out to the edge so that the whole top gets covered. All the way to the edge. Kind of do it as evenly as possible. Sorry, some of my video isn't the greatest. All right. And then when that it should be preheated or at least close enough here pretty soon. Then I'm going to stick this back in for another 5 minutes. Okay, and it's been about 5 minutes, and I've taken this, taken the cheesecake out, and there it is. It's just so easy to do, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is when this cools down, so it's just maybe kind of warm to the touch, we're going to cover it and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator. I suggest refrigerating overnight because that way it'll be nice and set up when you're ready to cut it and eat it and unmold it tomorrow.